Gather closer, children of the fire, pull your shawls tighter. Let the night insects sing their choir, because tonight's story is not small, not ordinary, not whispered. It burns bright enough to chase shadows from the furthest hills, for it is the story of the child who dared hold the sun in his hands, the boy who learned that warmth is never meant to be trapped, only shared. The legend told softly in the village of Zawakila, where the river curves like a sleeping snake, and the wind smells faintly of wild honey and roasted millet. In that village lived a boy named Kairo, a restless child born with wandering fingers and a mind that never sat still. A boy convinced the universe had hidden secret doors labeled boldly with his name. Other children played games. Kairo played what if fireflies were stars that fell too hard? What if thunder was drums played by giants racing storms? What if the sun was simply a flame waiting for someone daring enough to ask for it? The elders chuckled at him until the day Grandmother Zuri, bent like an old baobab root and wise enough to silence even foolishness with a stare, tapped her staff and said, "The sun is not just fire, child. It is promise and punishment. It gives freely only because no one has been bold enough to cage it." And Kairo, whose curiosity wore no leash, took those words and let them grow teeth in his imagination. Days passed, seasons shuffled like cards, yet the thought never left him. It curled inside his thoughts at dusk, stretched out when he woke, hummed behind every beam of morning light. Then one evening, as orange poured across the sky like spilled clay paint, he saw it happen. The sun flickered, not dimmed, not hid behind cloud, but flickered like a candle testing its own wick. No one else noticed, but Kairo did. That night sleep avoided him. Moonbeams laid stripes across his mat like bars, as though even the night expected him to break free. In the quiet before dawn, he slipped out, bare feet kissing earth, following the warmth still lingering from the sun's hiding place. He searched the edges of the village, under yellow flowers that bloom at sunrise, inside broken calabashes reflecting light back like mirrors, between the wooden teeth of fence posts, until, near the clay pits where potters worked by muscle and memory, something tiny but impossible blinked beneath the dust. He brushed earth aside, heartbeat thudding like talking drums, until there it lay, a pebble no larger than a plum seed, glowing amber, breathing light, warm even before touched. When he lifted it, heat traveled into his skin, not burning, greeting like recognition. The sunspark, small enough to cup, fierce enough to frighten shadows. Kairo smiled the kind of smile the world sometimes fears, a discovery smile, the spark that invents or destroys. He knew a flame must be sheltered, so he molded clay around it, shaping a small round pot with a narrow mouth, sealing it with river mud and a whispered promise, just for a little while. The pot vibrated like a heartbeat, but he carried it home nestled against his ribs, feeling braver than kings. At first, nothing changed. Morning still arrived. Goats still head-butted fences. Babies still cried with healthy lungs. Pride swelled his chest. But secret things never stay silent. The second sunrise came late, dull-edged, yawning awake as if tired from a long fight. Farmers frowned at crops trembling in unexpected cold. Hens hesitated before crowing. By the third morning, the sky woke pale, shivering, a stranger to warmth. People wrapped themselves in woven cloths, muttering, "Anamru is unwell. The Sun Mother has turned her face." Elders burned sacred roots. Drums called for answers the air refused to give. Kairo felt the pot grow warmer, anxious, guilty. That night, under a sky too cold for a world that knew the sun personally, he kneeling behind the house and whispered, "I only wanted to see you up close. I never meant harm." The clay trembled. A voice not loud, not soft, just older than echo spoke from inside the pot. To hold a sunspark is to hold consequence. Return what you took, or morning will forget your people forever. Kairo swallowed. How do I put it back? The clay glowed brighter, drawing symbols of a map in molten golden lines. The answer came. Walk the 7 territories. Find the keepers. Open what was closed. And carry truth heavier than fear. He packed nothing, because guilt is baggage enough, and walked while stars watched like unblinking witnesses. The first territory was the glass savanna, where silver grass chimed like wind bells when stepped on. A giraffe tall as old gossip lowered its head, eyes swirling galaxies. Why carry a wounded son? Kairo answered without crafting himself into a hero. I took what wasn't mine, because being small felt too small. Honesty has weight. The ground sighed. A path revealed itself. The second territory was the crocodile-mirrored lake. Its waters reflected not faces, but true selves. His reflection stood taller, thinner, hobbled by insecurity. The crocodile, ancient moss-bearded, spoke by ripples. What scares you more, obscurity or failure? Kairo did not blink, being forgotten before I matter. The crocodile widened its jaws not in threat, but invitation, a gate behind its teeth. Pass. The third territory was the canyon of echoed voices, where truth returns twisted unless spoken without fracture. He said, I am Kairo of Zawakila, child, curious, careless, learning. The echo tried to sharpen into accusation, but failed, dissolving into stillness. The mountain bowed. The fourth territory was the ember flock, birds burning cool flame, circling, testing. If you return the sun, what will be your story? Kairo considered carefully. Not the boy who held it. The boy who learned why he shouldn't. The birds softened, feathers turning from fire to sunrise. The fifth territory was the library of termites, where wisdom is digested, not stored. The queen, body spiraled like carved mahogany, antennae tapping earth like questions. What balances the scale of what you take? He pressed both palms to soil. I give back service, patience, warning, guidance, a lifetime of better choices. The earth accepted him. The sixth territory was silence itself, crossroads without sign. The golden road glimmered like praise. The dark one smelled of responsibility and unsung labor. The pot pulsed toward the dark. So did his heart. The seventh territory was the hill where sky kneels, where horizon bends like a listener leaning close. There stood an Amaru not blinding fire, but regal warmth shaped into a woman of ember hair and dawn-dark skin. Kneel not from fear, she said without moving lips. Kneel from understanding. He held the pot high. I was small and tried to hold greatness. I was loud and mistook noise for significance. But I see now. Greatness feeds, not owns. Her palms opened. The clay dissolved into golden dust. The spark ascended, climbing the air as though remembering home. The sky inhaled brightness. Color rushed back like song returning to throat. Orange spilled, then gold, then the confident blue of a day unashamed to exist. Sunlight embraced the world slowly, kindly, like forgiveness warming cold hands. She touched his brow gently. A sun-freckled brand of remembrance kissed his skin, not mark of theft, mark of lesson. Carry this warmth without trapping it. Share it without claiming it. Become a small light that does not shrink others. He bowed, lighter, smaller, larger, changed in shape but not soul. When he returned to Zawakila, the village was already singing, praising the sun's return. No one knew a child had carried its heartbeat across 7 trials. Grandmother Zuri did not ask where he went. She only nodded at his brow and smiled the small knowing smile of those who have met truth privately and lived to grow kinder for it. The crops flourished greener, mornings lingered warmer, laughter returned with teeth, and Kairo, still curious, still quick to ask why, finally learned the quiet power of careful hands. And even now, when dawn arrives especially gentle, when its warmth strokes your cheek like a promise, instead of blazing demand. Elders say it is because a small boy once carried a piece of it home in uncertain palms and return it in wiser ones. So remember, children of the fire, brilliance was never meant to burn alone. Suns were not made for pockets. Light grows stronger when given away, and becoming more does not mean holding more. Sometimes it means letting go at the exact right moment. Sleep now, dream warm, and rise softly with the morning, for the sun remembers those who return what they borrow, and shines kinder for them ever after.